Okay, so before we begin, I just need to say that I'm matching my books. I just realized it, like this one and this one and this, like it's the books that I'm currently reading. This is like so thick, but it's I cannot never stop reading and rereading it because it's so incredible. And check out my Instagram because I've been like posting a couple of like quotes from it, like me reading out loud. So if you like that, that's for you. Anyway, let's begin. So the title is Am I Scared? Yes. Will it stop me? No. So today we're going to talk about fear because let's be honest, the more you look at every single issue in your life and the ways you're limiting yourself is because of fear. And that's why I needed to write about it because, of course, I'm a human too, and I also have big goals, which means I have to face my fear every single day, almost every single minute. And the reason why I wrote this one specifically right now is because I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years right now, and I have just launched in the UK, like launching ads there and starting to get international clients because me and my book and my brand has always been, not always, but last 3 or 4 years been in English, but my business has been in Norway. But I want to, of course, keep working with Norwegian clients, but I also want to work with international. And I wrote this in like the first newsletter I ever wrote, which is that the reason why is because most of my the people I like really want to connect with one day and I really look up to, they're not in Norway and they don't know Norwegian. So yeah, there's something about like finding your people. And also I also do believe that language is a gatekeeper and I don't want to gatekeep knowledge or stuff. So I just want to keep everything in English because um yeah, I don't want people to be not like, I don't want the things that I say and share to be reserved for Norwegians only. Anyways, now I'm talking a lot about that. Let's get back to fear. Okay. So the thing I've realized, and I think this is like maybe more people have realized this as the year year, or we just realize stuff in our lives, is that you can never get rid of fear. Like it's always going to be there because it's a human emotion, and becoming fearless is like a stupid goal because it's never going to happen. So there is nothing about this is not going to be how to get rid of your fear because you will not get rid of it. But what you will do is you will learn how to cope with it, and not cope with it, but like keep going even though it's there. Because that's the definition of courage. If it's not scary, it's not courageous, right? Because you can never do something that is, um, if it's not scary, it's not courageous, you know? Because like fear is required in courage. Um, so the my two favorite metaphors for dealing with fear is basically the first one is by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she said that you have to picture yourself like driving the car, and the fear can be in the back seat, but it cannot be in the driver's seat. You don't want to like steer the direction and where we're going, but you also need to recognize that it's always going to be with you in there. And I also, oh my god, like the best birthday gift I've ever given myself was a workshop with Elizabeth Gilbert, oh my God, in London for 2 days, I think, 2 day workshop. It Yeah, she's just like one of my favorite authors, and I cannot explain to you how much I love that lady. But one of the things and practices that she's also talking about publicly is write a letter to yourself from your fear. Because instead of trying to push the fear away, try to get to know it. Like, what is it really saying? Because I think honestly, it's more like a child that just want to be heard, and you just have to listen and also show yourself and the fear that you're not scared of it, because that's like inception if you're scared of your fear, you know? So there is something about, I would recommend you to write down, like Elizabeth Gilbert said, write a letter to yourself from your fear, because you will discover so many things. And also the most interesting thing you will discover that I discovered in this workshop was that um, one of the ladies who had written the letter, she went up to the stage and she read her letter out loud to like all the people. And then Elizabeth Gilbert told her to, I hope this is okay that I'm sharing, but she told the girl to read the letter but not looking at the audience. So she had like face to like the stage, you know? And then she said to the audience that every time you hear something that you're also scared of, stand up. So she read the letter out loud. And by the time she was done, every single person was standing up in the room. And this proves that your fear is not original. Like, we're scared of the same thing. We're scared of rejection, of loss, of like all the same things. So it's not So basically, I love that Elizabeth Gilbert, she wrote that your fear is the most like unoriginal part of you, because like it's not original, like everyone has it and it's the same fear, it's usually like around the same thing. And that's just cool to know. And also, then again, just instead of trying to resist it, I know Joe Hudson, a cool coach who's working with like a lot of executives and big leaders in the US. He's talking a lot about the more you try to avoid the feeling, the bigger it becomes, because then you kind of proves that, oh my God, it has so much power and I'm trying to run away from it. So the more you're able to just like face it and be like, I'm not scared of your fear. I'm right here. Like you can come here, the less power it has. So I think there's a beauty to basically, I think also Young said, you should look at the place you least want to look. So there's something about the thing you least want to fear or do. Like the moment you do it, that's when it loses its power because you prove that you're not scared of it. So that is beautiful. And the second cool metaphor is kind of similar, but Leila Hormozi, who's like so awesome and also so incredibly cool and open about the fact that she has all these human emotions, but she doesn't let it stop her. But she's also not saying like, oh yeah, I don't feel that. So she has this cool metaphor that I heard, that she says that she puts her fear in her purse and she brings it with her. Again, like not letting it control her, but also not trying to like get rid of it. It's just always going to be there. And she's accomplished so much, and it seems like this is really working. So yeah, I think that was just a great thing. And then again, I think you just need to like find your own way to deal with your fear. And I use the letter technique with Elizabeth Gilbert, and I also just realized like there's something just about kind of helping yourself in the fear, as in when you're noticing the fear, just be like, okay, now the fear is here. As at least like acknowledge it if you're in the in your emotion. And also there is something to be said about having people around you. I was talking to Katie, my friend, this week, and she said something about, I think she said co-regulation is really important. Like we need to remember that is so important as well. And I've just realized that a lot, I think these last 2 years, how important it is to kind of process your stuff alone. No, not alone, but with people, because we are wired, we're like social creatures, and we need people to help us regulate our fear and our stuff like that. So I think that's a beautiful thing to remember as well. So yeah, that was the topic of today. And lastly, life updates. It's been rough. It's been honestly rough the last couple of weeks, and I've started to talk a lot more about how to make the life as an entrepreneur better, because I have realized that I've been under extreme emotional pressure and stuff like that for, um, 5 years now. And I think I know I need to do it in a better way, because I'm extremely good at taking a lot of responsibility and doing a lot of things that are right, but they're also really rough. And especially when you're an entrepreneur alone, like with all the responsibility, that's really hard. So I'm looking into ways. Check out my newsletter, by the way, if you want this practical tips I'm actually doing. This it's the post with the same name as this podcast, or this video. But basically I have written a couple of advice and tips so that you can see what I'm doing to to be an entrepreneur in a better way, because I think it's a huge like it's a like chronic emotional stress, can result in kind of not feeling that good. And I don't want to be one of the people online who's like talking about my struggles, because I do not believe that vulnerability is like sharing my struggles with strangers online. I'm just saying this to, maybe if you're dealing with some of the same issues, I just want you to ask yourself, if you're going through like whether it's like exam or business, ask yourself, how can I make the process more enjoyable? Because I never want you to give up on your goals or any of that. I can't either. But there is something about making the process and the journey there better, because 90% of your life, I wrote about this in my book, but 90% of your life is just working towards something. because like when I was in medical school, then it's like 6 years of school, and then it's like 2 days of celebration, and then it's like the next 40 years of work. So you're usually just working towards something, and the days of celebration, once you've done it, they're not that, like, it doesn't take up much of your life. And also, I'm sorry to tell it, but you love goals. We're humans, and we love having the next project. So like once you climb the first mountain, you want to climb the next one, and that's just human nature. And then I think it's extremely important to learn how to enjoy or find the right process to get to where you want to go in a way that is good for your mental health and physical health and yourself. Again, I know like a lot of entrepreneurs who like don't. I know Mr. Beast was on a podcast with Stephen Bartlett, and he said that he doesn't care about mental health, and like that's a personal choice. So I'm not saying like if you don't care, like do whatever you want to. I've just noticed for me and the people around me that it is actually pretty important, and it can get pretty dark if you don't. But again, it's not the goal for everyone, so don't listen to me if this is not like, I mean, I hope you already have clicked out if I'm not your girl. Like, I'm not for everyone, and not everyone is not for everyone. That's just the truth. But I just wanted to say that there is always, always, always a way to make the process better and take care of yourself while you're working towards your goal. Maybe it means taking an alternative route. Maybe it means taking more breaks. Maybe you need to take another turn that you didn't expect. Maybe you need support. But whatever it is, it's worth asking yourself what it would look like if it could be a little bit. Just ask yourself, what could I do to make it like 30% more enjoyable or healthy for myself? So, yeah, that is it. And I'll see you next week.